It's
There
totally
we go.
on now. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I hope my internet is okay.
Everyone's fine as well.
So where are you, Lorena?
I'm in Romania right now. That's what I call my home base and base airport and stuff like that.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. Where are you, Julie?
I'm in the San Francisco area.
Oh.
Yep. And how fun is it that we get to play together from across the world?
Yeah. And it's me totally forgetting that we are doing this.
It happens, you know, we get all these bright, shiny objects in front of us. And this is one of the things that I wanted to just chat about today was relaxing your point of view. Like, what if that wasn't wrong that you forgot?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's still join, like whatever.
And oh, that gives me an idea. Maybe I should do a 1 hour reminder instead of a 24-hour reminder, because there's so many things that show up in the middle.
Yeah. And it's like, for me, it's so interesting. And it's especially since I've started to do Access, that I'm more into, like, I'm totally into the energy of stuff. And sometimes one day it's like 2 billion years.
Yes.
And so much is changing. And then somehow you forget about some stuff, but right after you have to do it or whatever, you are there actually, even if you don't think about it.
Right. Yeah. It's usually not anything about what we think. It's usually that we're aware of things. And even if you think you forgot something, yeah, you're still there, like exactly on time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well,
yeah.
That's fun.
And actually about interesting point of view, just to make a little bit fun of it, I was talking these days with my friends, like IPOV should not be interesting point of view, should be insane point of view.
I love that. It's so true, because think of all the things that go on in your head about everything. Oh, you know, this person's not calling me, they must not like me, da da da. And you create all these insane points of view that don't actually end up being true at all.
Yeah, and it's kind of that relaxation into whatever point of view you have. And I'm kind of inviting people to that, like, okay, whatever is your point of view, like even if you don't get over it, and even if you like still choose to have that very interesting point of view, what if you can still actually create beyond it? That's a very interesting energy for me. Like, okay, whatever, like you will still have that point of view however long you choose to have that point of view. But what if even in this 10 seconds, while you are so into that point of view, you can actually still create beyond it, just like not having it?
Exactly. Not being in resistance, not trying to fight to overcome it, not making yourself wrong. I know, we're so cute. We use all kinds of acrobatics to try to move beyond something instead of just step over here.
Yeah.
Did you see that video? There's another CF named Connor, and he did this video of being in a pool. Yeah. And so he's like flailing around like, I can't swim, I can't swim. And then he's on the chair going, just stand up, you're in 3 feet of water. but I can't, just do it, put your legs down and stand up. And he's like, oh.
And like talking about interesting points of view, or like points of view, my point of view is like, okay, do you want to create what you'd like to create? And most of the times not even like imagine you can actually create that. or just like, would you like to die? Like, what will you choose today? To actually like just die and there's like no charge to it? Like, whatever, next lifetime you're just be born as something different, maybe just as somebody different or as a tree or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like actually go on with what you call your life, but create something different.
Yeah. I remember being in high school and having these assignments. And I remember working really hard trying to get this one paper written. And at some point, like it just wasn't happening. And I just was like, I give up. I just was like, I give up. I'm done. I'm not doing it. And I went downstairs and I told my mom, I just can't do it. I give up. And then all of a sudden, all of these awarenesses came in and I ran upstairs and wrote the paper. And it's like that, like where you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to force something into existence instead of just give up, or what you're saying, die and choose again.
Yeah.
It's amazing what happens when you let go of whatever you think that you're trying to fight to overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. However you do it, like what way is going to work for you today? It doesn't have to be one perfect way of doing things. Yeah. So what do you do to get out of your head if you're in your head struggling with something?
Just like this, not this die, but you can call it die, but it's more like, okay, whatever it's that about, just like choose something different. And sometimes it's not even like choosing something different regarding that subject, but like, okay, just getting to another space. If you're like stuck into that space of, oh my God, I have this point of view and it's draining me and I cannot change it, I cannot get out of it. Just like, what is actually beyond that? For me, it's always that I look for the beyond, and somehow there's always another totally different choice that most of the time doesn't have to do with this other one that I'm kind of quote unquote stuck into. Yeah, and this is just like, okay, there's something totally beyond available. Like I'm also a talk to the entities facilitator, and sometimes that pops up in the classes is like people getting stuck into like having some entities stuck to them, and I'm there like, or having that point of view that, oh my God, entities are so cruel or whatever, and I'm there like, oh, and what can the beings of light be to you? Instead of being stuck into that, oh my God, I hate all these entities stuck to me, I cannot create my life because of them. And it's like, what can you create with beings of light?
That's so interesting. Yeah, most people go to the negative and the scary and all of that. I'm actually choosing the talk to the entities facilitators this year as well. And I don't know why I never did it up until now. I mean, it's just something I've always played with, but I never got the certification.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what continues to show up, you know, the closer we get to the class. You know, all kinds of interesting things. But I love how it's like enriching your life when you allow more of the non-seen things into your life.
Yeah, and with the like unseen things, it's like energy is an unseen thing. Sorry.
Exactly.
Like,
I think it's sturdy.
It's
Exactly.
not just entities being an unseen thing.
Yeah.
but
And
energy
like that,
is
that ends up being more real than what we think is real, you know, because you can start to change reality and have it bend and mold and move the way you'd like it to once you start to harness your own potency and awareness. So
cool.
for people who haven't heard of the beings of light, because I haven't talked about that in this format, do you want to share, you know, some of the things that you know?
I just tell you all guys to actually read the Beings of Light book, because you'd get so much more than just me saying something about beings of light and then you going defining what beings of light are. But if you come from this, like from sorry, okay, if you come from this, maybe more like many of you come from the spiritual path in the past, and you have that like, oh, they're like some kind of angels or like some kind of guides or whatever you've called them in the past. It's kind of that, but more totally undefined and more like super mega beings that are just here on planet Earth and really interested in consciousness. I'd invite you all to read the Beings of Light book.
It's an amazing book. I'll put a link in the chat here afterwards.
Yes,
it's an amazing book, and it's very small, literally small, but also thin. But like every word is so potent, and it sort of transports you into, I don't know, an alternate.
Melting, like totally melting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so cool. I just love it. And she has you read part way and then stop and then read the next day.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And I always do that when I reread it. I've reread it so many times. Yeah. There's certain things that expand your being. And I'm always drawn to that kind of thing. I mean, I think that's what drew me to Access in the first place many years ago. And I remember my first big Access class with Gary and Dane. Dane was in the back and he was doing this, you know, stuff. And I kept looking, I'm like, what is he doing? What is that? What is that? I've got to try it. And back then he was $200 an hour. And I was like, I'm in, I'm trying that. I want to know what that is. And now, like many years later, after lots of people asking, I was one of those many people saying, can you teach me how to do that? I want to learn how to do that. What is it that you're doing? Now he teaches that class as the Symphony of Possibilities. And it's just amazing. Like you can't necessarily see it with your eyes, but you do see changes, but you perceive so much. It's incredible. Have you done any of those classes?
No, not at all. Don't tell anybody from the people I know I did that. I'm kidding. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Fun. So, yeah. So what did you do today?
What do I do today?
Oh, our internet's getting a little winky. Let's expand out, have the internet work for us.
I see that. So it's not the coffee time for me now, it's the gin tonic time for me now.
Nice. That's all good.
I actually just finished first year of university today officially, and I'm jumping soon in a business hours class that I'm facilitating and enjoying the sun.
Nice. Very cool. I have an interesting day ahead. Here it's sort of a
Morning?
holiday, even though yesterday was the holiday. So a lot of businesses are closed, and I don't know. I love what I do. I work all the time because it's play. So coming up next in about 15 minutes, I do an expanding exercise every Monday in another Facebook group. And we just play with expanding, and that's really fun. And later on this afternoon, I have the beginning of one of my series, 6-step guided transformation, just to facilitate people into being more of them and bringing them into their relationships instead of divorcing themselves. So, and you never know who's going to show up for things like that. So I'm just curious and in the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's awesome.
Cool, Jolie.
Mhm.
And I want to thank you for this conversation, and like actually thanks everybody who will ever watch this. And what else would you like to explore with us and with this group actually? And what are you asking for that like nobody else has been asking for before?
And how many insane points of view do we have that keep us from having all of that? I love that insane point of view. I'm going to use that. I'm stealing it.
Insane point of view. I have this insane point of view that it's not an interesting point of view anymore. It's turning a totally insane point of view.
It's so true. I mean, how often do you wake up with all kinds of insane points of view in your head and you think, oh, wow, how do I handle this? Or what do I have to do with this? And blah, blah, blah. And like none of it is even yours.
Yeah.
But you think it is. So if we just play with it, wow, how many insane points of view am I aware of? That would just float it away so much faster.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody has any questions. Let me just look in the group thing. I don't see anything in there, but you know, I created this coffee talk I think it was March, when everything shut down in the world. And I was like, I miss my friends. Let's do coffee talk. And so a bunch of us kept gathering each week. And then I turned it into this weekly, I don't know, radio show, whatever. But then the one guy that I was doing it with all the time, he like dropped off. And then I thought, oh, well, I guess it's done. But it really wanted to come back and play again, because it's just fun to hang out with other people who are curious, who want to play with possibilities, ask questions. And, you know, who says you have to be in person to have a drink together?
Like a drink together.
Yes. That looks like when I was in Rome, I guess it was 2 years ago, for Maestro, we sat out at a place that looked very much like that. And we had cocktails in those big globe wine glasses.
No.
Where are you originally from?
So I'm from Romania.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was born here. I'm here right now, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm talking about Italy. I'm at university in Italy. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's really cool how in Europe you can, I don't know, for somebody from the United States, it just seems like it's really cool that you can go country to country so quickly and easily.
Yeah, and so easily.
Whereas here, it's like state to state, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I need to explore more of Europe.
You're very welcome.
Yes, I'll come and play soon when things open more. So far this year, I've only been to a few of the different states and Mexico.
Yeah.
That was easy. Have you been to Mexico?
Not yet, but I'm coming for the CF class in September.
Oh, cool. I will see you there. Yeah,
See you there. Wow.
it's a really beautiful area. Really beautiful. Like the sunsets are amazing. It's sort of mind-blowing. I mean, there are beautiful sunsets everywhere, but there it's so like rich and juicy over the water.
Thank you, Joey. And see you in Mexico. And whoever is watching this, hi.
Yes. Hello. All right. Well, we don't have to take up the whole half hour. It's all good. It was really fun meeting and chatting. And enjoy the rest of your creations today.
You too.
Yeah. Oh, I can hear some music in the background. Sounds like you're having
Yes.
a fabulous evening.
Yeah, just
Cheers.
I'm just gonna go home now and do business hours with entities and some really cool people.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
We'll have too much fun, and I look forward to
You too.
seeing you in September.
And you too all. And see you soon.
Okay. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next Monday.